Hello citizens of our nation, RAWR here, and today we'll be talking about the new film, A Quiet Place. Now, I've mentioned on this channel before that I'm not really much of a fan of most modern horror movies. I find that nowadays most horror movies are filled with cliches, cheap jump scares, mediocre plots, and subpar acting. However, every once in a while, there is an exception. I'm happy to say that A Quiet Place is an exception. This is one of the best horror films I have seen in years. The premise is original, it's very smoothly directed, and the cast is excellent. What I found to be most impressive about A Quiet Place is its use of sound. The film centers on a family attempting to survive in a post-apocalyptic world inhabited by monsters that hunt by sound. Right from the opening scene, the stakes are clear. If you make even the slightest sound, the monsters will come and kill you. As the title suggests, this is a very quiet movie. There is sound, but the sound is used to establish ambiance and atmosphere. You hear small things like a wooden floor creaking, footsteps tiptoeing around, trees swaying in the breeze. This is relevant because given the stakes set up at the beginning, as an audience member, it makes you feel like you are with these characters in this difficult situation. You'll feel like if you make a sound while you're sitting in the theater watching this movie, the monsters will come and attack you. What's even more incredible is how much development was given to each character despite the fact that there is very little dialogue in this film. The characters communicate mainly through sign language and body language. Hardly anyone says a word, yet you still feel like you know these people and you genuinely care about them and their survival. They're all very well-rounded characters, and I'm still trying to figure out how the filmmakers were able to pull that off without having them speak for most of the film. Something that helped in that respect are the incredible performances of the cast. The film stars Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe. Generally, acting is not an easy thing at all. It's hard to give a good performance, and when you have very little dialogue, it's even harder because then you're only relying on your facial expressions and movement. With that in mind, this cast was impressive. I didn't see actors in this movie. I saw a family that was fighting for survival. I completely bought each and every performance. The cast was amazing. Obviously, this is a horror film and it delivers on the scares. Particularly, this film does a good job with tension. I mentioned before that the sound was used to establish atmosphere. The sound also plays a huge part in building tension during the more intense scenes. Now, this isn't necessarily something that happens in the movie, but for example, a monster is inside the house and the character has to tiptoe around it. During moments like this, the film will brilliantly use the sound of the character tiptoeing and their heartbeat, mixed with other small sounds such as the ticking of the clock, to sort of serve as the musical score and to heighten the suspense. And when the scares happen, they are absolutely frightening. I mentioned earlier that one of the things I hate about modern horror films is their over-reliance on cheap jump scares. A Quiet Place is not without them. Fortunately, it doesn't rely on them. There are only about 10 or so cheap scares, and the rest of the film relies on the sound, atmosphere, and tension for its scares. But there are still some jump scares, and whenever a jump scare happened, I was like, really? Did you really have to do that? Again, there aren't that many of these moments, but the fact that they are even in the film is my only negative. Other than that, A Quiet Place is a fantastic horror film, and dare I say, it's my favorite film of 2018 so far. On my rating scale, A Quiet Place gets a 9 out of 10. Have you guys seen it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or do you want to see it? Why or why not? Comment down below. Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe today for more content. RAWR signing out here. Farewell, citizens of our nation, and I will see you guys in the next video.